It's on that.
Yeah, because I got me over there.
Hi guys, how are you? Welcome. Good evening. It's your girl, Dr. Tasha Rose. We're here tonight with my special guest. And I'm gonna do some intros later once some more people get on here. But we are here. We are ready to start the show. I am so happy to see all of you guys tonight. I hope that you guys are excited about tonight's broadcast. This is episode number 4. Okay. Yeah, Pisces in the house. We're just in sync. So this is episode 4. Hey, Tina. That's my sister.
Okay. But wait, what date is your birthday on?
Mine's the 4th.
The 4th.
Yes. And when's your birthday?
The 6th.
Tina, when's your birthday? Tina's birthday is the 11th. Pisces in the house. We are about to be Pisces season, y'all. Pisces season. Aquarius, y'all were good, but now it's time for y'all to swim away. So I'm super excited about tonight. We are here. We are going to have an amazing time. Kennisha has a beautiful story. It is going to be amazing to be able to hear her story. Not only hear her story, but just hear how dope she is, right? So I can't wait. We're gonna wait a few more minutes and like maybe another minute before we start, because I really want to respect people's time. So are you excited to be here tonight?
I am.
There we go again. I don't know what it is about us. We're just silly. Anywho, I hope you guys had a great President's Day. To be honest, I thought that today was pretty fitting to have 2 presidents in the seats, right? I'm the president and CEO of Let's Talk About It Counseling Services. And you're the president and CEO of what?
It's too many to name.
Just give me one.
Phoenix Comprehensive Coaching.
Yes. So on this President's Day, we are super excited to be 2 presidents sitting here and talking to you guys tonight. So come in. Let me know you are on. Send a hello in the chat so we can get this started. This is going to be an amazing show. So we're going to start. So again, my name is Dr. Tasha Rose, your transparent sister in women's healing. And I am a licensed professional counselor, and I'm the owner of Let's Talk About It Counseling Services in Bloomfield, Connecticut. I have a doctorate in health science with a certification in advanced trauma. So I am all about trauma, helping people get through trauma. But I do specialize in healing through the faith. So I am a faith-based therapist as well. So this podcast is all about calming and self-discovery. I really want us to get to a place where we allow ourselves to be calm even in the chaos that we've gone through, so we can find who we are, so we can actually live in the light that God has designed for us. So tonight we have Kennisha Flewellen. Kennisha is going to introduce herself because I could not give her justice because she be doing too much, right? She has a lot of things going on. She's a mom, an entrepreneur. She's a corporate leader. She has podcasts. She has 2 podcasts.
Well, you done introduced me.
I'm just
already.
saying, but I'm just saying, I told you I get excited. But I'm gonna let her introduce herself. But she's here with me tonight. She did give me a solid because this was like a last minute, and she said yes because my other interview we had to pull out. So but I'm super excited. So Kennisha, tell the people what they want to hear.
Well, since you already told half of it, though.
No, just repeat.
It's okay. I was going to repeat anyway. It's part of the spiel. So.
Okay. Hey, Ty.
But again, like she said, my name is Kennisha. I like to consider myself a single mom strategist. That's how I feel I got to this point. But I am also a corporate leader. I've been in the financial services industry for over 20 years. I am an entrepreneur. I am a coach. I am a lover of all things wellness. So my coaching business has to do with wellness, nutrition side, behavior change, and some new things that will be coming your way also. And yes, I do also have a podcast. I am the host and creator of The Real Life of Transparent Motherhood, which will be going into its second year in June. So very excited about that. We stream on Apple, Spotify, and Amazon, and we do a live show once a quarter in person in downtown Hartford. So, but yeah, that's a little about me.
All right. So thank you so much for introducing yourself. We already have people in the comment.
Thank
single
you.
Mom and all around boss. Okay. This is true. This is true. But I'm happy that you've been able to kind of like say all the like the business side, right? I want to know a little bit more about the personal side of Kennisha. Like who is Kennisha?
That's so funny because when you were like telling people who you are, I was like, that's a loaded question. Because a lot of times when I ask people, tell me who you are, I'm like, without the titles, tell me who you are, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But I'm a lover, not a fighter. So,
okay.
But don't get it twisted. I'm just like an all-around humorous person, I believe. I love to laugh. I love to have fun. I am a very nurturing individual. I love creative things, whether that's writing, drawing. I probably write the most of anything. I used to do poetry and things like that for a long period of my life. And then I had stopped for probably about 8 years or so.
Okay.
And then one day I picked up the book and I wrote like 10 pieces in 7 days, like after that period. I love my friends. I love to spend time with my friends. I try to keep my circle tight. I love being a leader. And I think I like being a leader because I like the coaching aspect of it. I like to see people grow into their potential and rise. And I feel like as a leader, you should want to see other people grow.
Yes.
You shouldn't just want to manage them. You want to see them do better and be better. But I don't know. I just like to have a good time. Like light spirit, free bird.
Okay. Fly away. All right. So tell us a little bit about like growing up. Like, are you from Hartford? Are you from Bloomfield? Like, where are you from?
Born and raised in Hartford, Connecticut, north end of Hartford. I went to school in Hartford for kindergarten.
Okay.
That was it.
That's it.
I went to Clark Elementary for kindergarten. Anybody that went to Clark Elementary, shout out to Miss Jackson. Best kindergarten teacher ever. And then I was bussed out and went to school in Manchester from first grade through 8th grade. And then I finished out high school. I went to private school. I went to Emmanuel Christian Academy, graduated from there. And then I thought I had plans to go to University of Hartford. And some things ended up happening that did not turn out the way that I wanted them to, or that I desired to. And at the point in time, when you're that age, you don't think about the rejection is redirection thing then. But you're like I was like mad. Like they called me about the dorm I wanted to get into and everything. And I was like, I'm about to be in an apartment as a freshman. Like, I was so hyped, but it didn't work out. And I ended up having to start at community college and pay my way through there and then transfer to college and still pay my way through there. So I was working like 2-3 jobs and going to school like at the same time. And it got to the point where I was like, working with the company that I was working with, trying to manipulate my schedule so I could work like 4 10-hour days to get my 40 hours. So I could go to school on those 2 weekdays instead and still be like full time. So all day Tuesday, all day Thursday, whatever, and then still work and all that stuff. But I grew up with my grandparents and my mom. But I spent most of the time when I was in high school, it was just my grandparents. My mom had moved out of state. And I mean, it was a little rough because you're talking about 2 grandparents that never like went to high school. So when you're working through schoolwork and stuff like that, and you need help with homework, child, it wasn't them.
It was like, you better ask somebody else.
Like, who about to help me with this algebra? So there was some times where like some of us would just get on the phone and help each other. And after a while, like I was good at math and I was good at science, and I just started doing it. Like it was like, I have no choice. Like figure it out. And after a while, it kind of came easy to me, so I didn't have to worry about it. But it was my grandmother was very comical, and she used to always make me laugh. She was very realistic, though, and if she told you something, she told you like it was. My grandfather was from Kingston, Jamaica, and he didn't take no mess. And it was just, I don't know. Like I had a bunch of friends where that's how they also grew up with their grandparents. So we shared in that. It was, I remember like, because I went to school in Newington, there was no bus per se, and it was a private school. So I'd take the city bus. And I remember my cousin coming to the same school as me, but she was 9 years younger. So when I was in like high school, she was in elementary, and I had to bring her on the bus with me. So when I got to school, I had to go all the way down to elementary in the other wing and go and get her and bring her on the bus with me as well. And people used to look at me funny when I was bringing her home, like I was a teenage mom. And I was like, no, that's not my daughter.
That's my cousin.
That's my cousin. That's not my child. Like, especially, you know, you're like 16, 17 years old and you got a like little one like with you. They don't know. You might look 19 and they think she's like 4. So they're like, is that your daughter? No, sir, it is not. But yeah, I guess it was different for a lot of the people I went to school with. But the people that I lived around, it was very much a normal way to grow up.
Well, thank you. So tell me a little bit about, because I know that the title of episode 4 is From Hiding to Living Out Loud. So tell us a little bit about when the hiding began and how was that? And there's tissue.
Wait.
Listen,
we about to get through the podcast?
Get through the podcast, okay? Because you are going to be able to do this, and we're going to do this together. We have some great, amazing people that are waiting to ask you questions and to encourage you. So, you know, when did the hiding begin for Kennisha?
As a kid.
What does that look like?
I think for me, like a lot of the things that I went through as a kid, like I remember getting bullied in middle school, And I was just one of those people where I wasn't really talking about it. So like kids will get bullied now and they'll get pulled out of school, or they don't want to go to school. And for me, it was like, I didn't even see that as an option.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't going to go home and be like, I don't want to go to school no more. I actually like school and learning. So I was just like,
yeah,
it is what it is. It's something that I'm going through. But I think it was rough for me because it was like there were people around me that I thought were my friends that like watched the stuff happen. And I done started already. I don't want
it's okay.
I don't watch it. Oh, I know it's okay.
Yeah, it's
That's
okay.
why I don't wear no makeup. But anyway, that watched the stuff happen, and I was just like, I thought you were like my friend.
Yeah.
Right. And if I went home, like at home, it was like you never really heard like I love you a lot, or you get hugs a lot and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, I'm not gonna go home and be a punk. Like, you know what I mean? So I just kind of just kept brushing it off every day. And it was probably messing with my self-esteem at that point as well. And I remember in 8th grade, there was a group of girls, like me and the friends that I had at that time, there was a group of girls that were trying to bully us. And apparently it was heard that they had came to school with weapons or whatever the case may be. But we were like, we're not about to get jumped.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So I actually had a switchblade in my backpack.
Oh.
But my intent was not to use the switchblade. But because again, I don't usually have to fight. Like, I was like, I've never been in a fight. Why do you want to fight me?
Right.
Like, you're older than me, and why y'all even being like this? But anyway, ended up getting called down to the principal's office, and they came into the classroom, into my homeroom, I think it was, and asked for me. And I was like, why are you calling me to the principal's office? Like, I didn't even do nothing. Like, it's the beginning of the day. Nothing's happened. And I got down there, and the 2 other girls that were my friends were like already in the principal's office. And I was like, somebody tell somebody there's something in my bag.
Right.
And I don't know if y'all remember DARE. And how they used to come to the school.
Yep.
But there were DARE officers on the premises that day, so they had called them into the office. And I remember them dumping out my backpack, and it was the very last thing that fell out. But all the way to the office, I was like, "Can I throw this somewhere?" Like, I was like, I don't even want to use this. Like, why is this happening? And they're like, if it's longer than like whatever, like then it's a problem. And my mother was just like, we're not even dealing with this. Like, I got suspended. And they were like, oh, you're going to have to go to a hearing to see if you'll get expelled. My mother was like, we're not doing that. And just pulled me out of the school and put me in a private school.
Okay.
And it was funny because the private school I ended up at was the same school that was attached to the church that we went to.
Okay.
So I knew a lot of the kids from church already. So now I will be going to school with y'all as well.
Okay.
So the transition wasn't that bad for me. It's just now I have to wear skirts to school every day instead. But we didn't have to wear uniforms, though. Okay. That was a good part. So I still got to have a little bit of style or whatever.
Okay.
But I feel like that was probably when it started, though. So then if anything happened to me, I wasn't talking about it. I didn't say anything about it. And then I don't remember much about my parents' relationship. I know they got married when I was think my mom was like 19 or 20 when I know she was 20 when she had me.
Okay.
But about to turn 20 because we're 20 years apart almost exactly.
Okay.
But I don't remember much about them being together.
Okay.
The only thing that I remember is one night when they had an argument, and it's funny when the little things that you remember, because I remember what sheets were on the bed.
That's drama.
Like, I remember what sheets were on my bed,
Yeah,
and what sheets were on their bed.
Yeah.
But I don't remember anything that was said or anything like that, because I had strawberry shortcake sheets.
Yep.
That was my favorite. And all I remember after that, like, we lived on the south end of Hartford, and all I remember after that was me and my mom moving in with my grandparents.
Okay.
So, but other than that, I don't remember anything
with your parents
about them, like, together, about my dad. Like, I don't remember any of that. And I think because of the way, like, how strict my grandfather was and stuff like that, and how it was like, it was this thing to, like, ask for help and all that stuff, that I was just like, I'm not even gonna bother.
So did you find yourself, like, from being bullied and feeling like you didn't really have a voice to really say what was going on with you? How did that impact you as you grew older? Like, how did that impact your relationships as you grew older?
I feel like there are times that I probably should have spoke up and did not.
Okay.
There were probably things that I tolerated that I did not, but I also saw relationships in which people tolerated stuff that they should not have. Like, even the relationship with my grandparents, there was stuff there that probably shouldn't have been tolerated. But back then, people weren't really getting divorced, and they had numerous children.
Like, who gonna have me with these kids? I'm gonna keep them. He may not be good, but I'm gonna keep him.
I mean, like, my grandmother had 6 children, like, back to back or whatever. And then it was like other family and friend, like, relationships you would see, and you're like, that look kind of toxic. Like, is this normal?
So you didn't really see any normal relationships growing up, like that loving, healthy relationship, God-fearing, healthy, loving relationship. Okay, God-fearing, loving, healthy relationships. Kennisha did not see that. So what ended up happening with you? Like, how did you find, because I know you've been married, so let's talk a little bit about that. Let's fast forward a little bit.
So fast forwarding to that, like, my ex-husband, I met when I was 20.
Do you guys see the cycle? Like, people don't realize that trauma it can be a cycle. But go ahead.
I was 20, and in college. And I used to go and hang out with him, like, after school and stuff, like, take the bus and go hang out with him after school, whatever. And this probably went on for a while, like, nothing off seemed like then, but does it really in the beginning anyway? But
you're in love. You're 20 years old. You got this man that's like all over you, and you're all over him.
And I thought he was so fine. I thought he looked like T.I.
Well, he was fine at the time.
And he did look a little bit like T.I. But then as, like, we progressed, there were probably little red flags that were there that I didn't see. Because sometimes we make red flags white.
Yeah. Or non-existent.
Right.
So let's tell some of let's give a few of those red flags, just in case there are some viewers who may have those red flags that they're coloring to white.
Like, why are you on the phone after I go to sleep? That kind of thing.
Okay.
Or you want to go to a party or go to your friend's house without me, but if I'm invited somewhere, you want to come.
Control.
Or a lot of deflection,
Okay.
right? So assuming I'm doing things because you are doing them.
Okay.
So you automatically think that I'm also doing that.
Yeah.
Or try to justify it like, oh, she probably doing that. So that's why, or whatever, that kind of thing. So not seeing that or trying to even make light of that, like when it was happening. And then as we further progressed, after we were dating, like how long was it? Like I knew him for 5 years. Then we dated. We were in a relationship for 5 years. And then we got married. And we were married for almost 10 years.
Okay.
And the red flags that I was turning white was near like the beginning of the dating phase, probably. And once we got closer to like the marriage phase, a lot of that wasn't showing up anymore. Like he proposed, but like, you know, like all this stuff. And he was like, we're going like through this together to we're old and gray and like all that. And for me, it didn't seem like it changed until after the baby.
Okay. Now, how long after you got married did you guys have your son?
3 years.
Okay. So you had
unplanned.
Go ahead, Kennisha.
I felt like I was going to wait one more, and God was like, no.
It is time.
It is time. Because at first I was like, maybe I can't get pregnant. Right.
So hold on one second, Kennisha, because VJ, is that Vincent? Who's VJ? Okay. He says trauma can also be passed down generational. We seek what's familiar. Yes. And that is what that cycle, you know, if you don't get the help that you need when you have been through trauma, then you end up repeating those habits and it becomes inherent. So like that, the book of, you know, The Body That Keeps the Score, like that's a really good book for you guys to read, because it really talks about how trauma gets trapped inside of us and then it comes outside in different behaviors and the way that we feel, the way that we think. So you really want to look at, like, if you have trauma that you have not dealt with before you get into a relationship, or even while you're in a relationship, you need to go get help so that you can break those cycles. Because if it doesn't break with you, it'll continue to go to your children and so forth and so on. All right. So after you had your son, things started to change. What'd that look like?
So for me, it's like, okay, now there's a baby in the picture, right? At first it's us two. I started in my apartment. When we got married, moved to a condo. And then after I got pregnant, when we were closer to the end of the pregnancy, we moved into a house.
Okay.
And then fast forward, God, I think I was like 6 months pregnant when we got the house.
Okay.
So, but that boy, my belly was like a basketball. Okay. And I'm packing up all this stuff. We move in or whatever. And then when we got to the house, I had my son. It was rough. He was late. And when I went to our follow-up appointment, I started feeling something. And I was like, wait, is he about to come right now? I was like, is he coming right now? And the doctor was like, let's go and do ultrasound or whatever. She was like, you need to go to the hospital. And I was like, okay.
But you were already late.
I was late.
Okay.
And I came in for a follow-up appointment because I was late. And as soon as I sat in that doctor's office,
your water broke.
No water broke.
Oh.
I just started having like contractions. And I was like, this isn't Braxton Hicks.
Okay.
And I'm like, I'm like moving around like, no. And she was like, you need to go to the hospital. I was like, I don't got no bag in my car.
Worried about the wrong thing.
I know. And I was like, I got to go all the way back to Enfield.
No,
I'm in West Hartford. I was like, I got to go all the way back to Enfield and then come all the way back to Hartford. So I was like, whatever. I was like, because once I get in there, they ain't going to feed me. So I was like, I'm hungry. Can I get some French fries, whatever, something? So like, stop and get food. And my stomach ain't like that because it came back up. And went to the hospital, and they basically said that my fluid was low. So every time I had a contraction, it was like slowing down his heart rate. So they had to like inject me with fluid. And after hours and hours, they were like, you might have to have a C-section. And my husband at the time was like, what? No. I was like, I'm sorry, what? Like, I'm the one on the table. What you mean? Like, no.
Yeah.
But lo and behold, God took care of it, and he came out naturally.
Okay.
No C-section required, but it was like 16 hours later, basically, that it happened.
Now, did you go through like postpartum? Was your husband like there? Was he comforting or?
At the time, he was there because he was very happy, and his family was very happy because they have a lot of girls in their family, and it was like 3 women that had more girls, and there was very little boys. So when everybody found out I was having a boy, everybody was all excited, and then he was excited because he was going to have a boy, and it was fine at first, and then my mom ended up coming down because his schedule was like changing. So she wanted to be there so I wasn't by myself like all the time. But then he switched to night shift and got off at like 7 a.m. So at least he was there. Like, my biggest thing was when he came home and I get to take a shower now because he'd be with the baby. But yeah, at first he was very much there. Like for the most part, as far as the child was concerned, he was always there, like with the son.
So what ended up happening like with you and husband relationship once Cam was born?
So it was more or less how like a lot of times when guys would try to say, like, when you get married, oh, you're not as close anymore, or you're not as intimate anymore, or you're not as sexual anymore, that kind of stuff. That was the stuff that started to come up. But for me, it was I'm tired because I'm the only one doing all this stuff.
Okay.
So it was like once I integrated back into work, it's like I have to go to work, but now I still have to cook and still take care of the baby, right? And maybe pump or whatever. But then that was out the window because after like 3 months, I wasn't pumping the way that I would have, and I thought I was going to break down, and I had to switch to formula.
Okay.
And then he had reflux issues and all this other stuff or whatever. So it ended up for the best, and nothing was enough. Boy was always hungry. So then we had to start putting like oatmeal in the milk and all that kind of stuff or whatever. But he, like, that was the kind of stuff that he used to say, and I was like, it's not even like that. Like, I'm tired, legitimately tired. And then it became this whole back and forth. Like, if I asked for a massage, it was like, maybe you would get one if you didn't ask for one. And then I'm like, but then if I don't ask for one, I still don't get one. So what does that even mean?
Right.
And then, like I was saying before, the whole, his friend XYZ was having people over and he was going to go. But in my head, I'm like, I know that person has a girlfriend and they're over there. So why you just not bringing me? Because you don't want like who else over there, whatever. But I was just like, whatever. But then I would get invited somewhere and he would be like, you just invited or we invited or whatever. And I'm like, you got to be where I am, but I can't be where you are. That kind of thing. And then it was like the whole, even after you're together, you should still be dating each other. That was not really happening either. And a lot of times if I brought something up, it was like, we'll see, that kind of stuff. And um, he was doing his own thing out in these streets.
Okay.
Like, so.
Now, how did that impact you, like after having a baby, being a new wife, pretty much, new mom, and all this stuff? Like, how did that impact you emotionally? Like, how did it? Yeah, how did it impact you?
So initially, I would say from the time that I met him till the time we got married,
Okay.
Little after the wedding, I would say. Through that process, I probably gained like 100 pounds. And then I would say, like, part of me was like, maybe you don't notice it because if you're together 10 years, if you gain like 10 pounds every year, that seems small.
Yeah.
But over a 10-year period, that's 100 pounds.
Right.
So I didn't like think a lot about it because I still was like an energetic person. I still was a person who liked to have fun or whatever. But I remember one day we went out to dinner with some friends. That was back when we still had cameras, real like digital cameras, and not using our phones.
Yeah.
I went back and I looked at a picture on a camera, and I was like, "Who is this person?" I was like, "Who is this person?" Like I felt like I didn't recognize me.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just like the weight. I felt like I was looking at my face, and even though I was smiling in the picture, I felt like me was buried in that person.
Yeah.
And that was when it kind of like snapped for me, like, how did I get here?
Okay.
And I just started like I was already meal prepping and stuff like that, but it was just prepping food. Like
right.
Cook for the week, put it in the fridge, eat whatever, this and that. It was probably at that point that I was like, started working out more. I started actually portioning my food. I started going to therapy. I was asking him about therapy, but he didn't want to go.
Okay.
And then he said a comment to me once that I thought was ridiculous at the time, but he was like, the only reason you want to go to therapy is if something happened and we get divorced, you want to say that you did everything that you could. I was like, that's exactly what I want to say. Like, not that I'm trying to get divorced.
Right.
But I want to be like, I did everything that we could.
Was that like a red flag comment? Like to you?
Yeah,
like,
I was like, who says that?
Yeah. Yep. So Patrice says men should have the right supports around them to give them the right advice. As for women, agreed. A lot of men, a lot of women, we just don't have enough mentors. We don't have enough people who have wisdom around us, or positive wisdom at that. Sometimes we hear things, or we're so used to the negative things happening, we just think that if everyone is doing it, it has to be right. But if you're around negative people, or people, if you see like their relationships are broken, don't listen to them. You don't listen to them.
For real.
Because what happens is people think because someone's married for years and years and years, that's why they need to listen to how the man or the woman is living. No, we want to look at if God is in the middle of that relationship. We want to look at how they treat each other, how they speak to each other. We want to look at all of those things, because if not, we end up in spaces where we're thinking we're good just because we're married, just because we have a ring on our finger, and that's my husband, that's my wife. No, we have to make sure that we are paying attention to what God says a marriage is supposed to be. It's not going to always be happy,
right?
But it should always be good. When as long as God is in the middle of it. You may not always like each other, you may not always understand, but you're always supposed to respect, love, and support one another. That is the goal of marriage. Let's see. You can become unrecognizable when look in the mirror, then you doubt yourself. Did you ever find yourself feeling that way? Like did you doubt yourself in this time that was that everything that was happening with you and your husband?
I would say before I saw that picture,
Okay.
when it snapped,
Okay.
that then, like, what am I doing? Why am I doing? Like, am I doing everything that I could be doing? All that kind of stuff. But then, like, literally, when I saw that picture, I was like staring at it, and I was like, "That's not me."
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like that. And then if I even go back and like look at pictures like from our honeymoon and stuff like that, I was like, who is she?
So you didn't even recognize yourself in the honeymoon pictures. Wow. Wow.
And I had lost like 50 pounds before our wedding.
Okay.
And if I go back now and look at those pictures, I'm like, no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So it was like the shell of the person, like that unhealed little girl was like inside there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So I was just like, I have to take care of myself. Right. So then it was more like the click of the whole oxygen bag picture was on first, this and that. So I was like, I have a kid now, right? And I'm I'm like a big kid. So I want to play with my son. I want to run around with my son. I want to live long with my son. I want to go on all the rides with my son and all this stuff. So at the time, even though I was larger, I didn't have any like issues. Like I was way over 300 pounds.
Okay.
But I didn't have high blood pressure, cholesterol, diabetes. I didn't have none of that stuff.
Good.
But I was like, nor do I want to have any of these things. So I need to take care of myself so that I'm not there.
Yeah.
And that I have the energy and the stamina to keep up with this kid that at the time I was calling him Bam Bam because he would just tear stuff up. Like that boy is strong now, but he'd been strong.
Okay.
And them little baby swings that you got, once he could pull himself up,
it was a wrap.
He was rocking the swing. And I used to just be like, look at Bam Bam. But I wanted to be able to keep up with him and do things with him and run around with him and play with him. So that was really my fuel to go into that direction.
Yeah.
But also it was on the way to finding back me because I was always this athletic person, energetic. Like I played sports in high school, like all that stuff. And I was like, how do I get back to me? But it wasn't like just the physical. Because for me, it was like between therapy, prayer, all that stuff. It was like change the mind and the body will follow.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times we'll sit and we'll try to change our appearance through fitness and all that stuff or whatever, but we didn't get to the root of the problem.
Yeah.
And then you just revert back. And you like, I can't keep this weight off. I can't keep this weight off. Well, what was the reason the weight came in the first place?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you figure that out?
Were you able to figure out where your weight was coming from? Like how you got to those spaces in your life where you were hiding the little girl that was hurt and covering her with a new person that you didn't even know?
I ate my feelings from a kid.
So from you not being able to talk about the things that were happening to you and school, at home or whatever, you just ate. And then no one never really said anything. So you just kept eating.
Snacking, hide snacks in my room.
Okay. And did you actually feel better eating? Because that's something that I always try to, because I'm not a eater for my emotions. I'm more of a spender. And I know it doesn't.
There's a little of that in me too.
And it doesn't help. It like at the time it made me feel okay.
But after
it was like, yo, I don't overspent for no reason. But then it's like, but the reason is because I'm still hurting inside. But I didn't see that until I started to heal, right? So I'm wondering, like, at the time when you were eating, did it actually make you feel good? Were you able to actually look and say, no, I don't like this, but you couldn't stop doing it? Or was it more so like, I didn't even see it until I started healing?
I didn't even see it.
Okay.
And I think as a kid, I did not feel better.
Okay.
As a kid, it was almost just like a binge, it felt like. And the hard part about it is I had family members that were telling me that I was overweight. But in hindsight, if I go back to what I weighed then for my height, I was not.
Okay.
So mentally hearing people say because you don't look as lean as somebody else, in your mind, you're like, well, something's wrong with me then.
Right.
So I'm the odd person out. I'm getting bullied, all this stuff or whatever. So if there's something around or there's a snack or whatever, I'm gonna go grab this and let me just eat this or whatever. But then I don't feel good like after. When I got older, I did I didn't even realize it. Like a lot of times they say, oh, you gain weight when you're like in this happy relationship, whatever, this and that. It depends on the person.
That's true. Like you can lose weight too.
Right. Because if somebody's stressed out and they're not the eater,
right,
then they'll lose weight and all that stuff. And for me, it was like, I think it was like a mixture of both.
Okay.
Like it was like, oh, we're having a good time, whatever, but if we're not doing anything else, if there's not a lot of movement and stuff going on, or you're going home and watching movies on the couch, whatever, you're not going out being active and you know all this stuff, you're just kind of sitting there, right? And if my metabolism different than your metabolism, we ain't gonna look the same after eating that stuff. But then if a stressful situation came on or something like that, then maybe I want another like late night snack on top of that or whatever. So I didn't really notice it. And it was so funny because it was like once I did, it was like, and it just started coming off.
It just clicked.
It just started coming off. But it wasn't like an unhealthy coming off. Like it was a whole recomposition.
Okay.
Like mind, body, spirit, everything was like a whole recomposition. And then initially when that started happening and you could see that other side of him coming out. Because at first, when it started coming off, he was like, okay, skinny mini, like saying all this little cute stuff, whatever. And it was cute or whatever. But then it started coming off a little bit more. And I was like, now I can kind of wear clothes that I want to wear. Or I can wear this skirt or these pants and I can tuck my shirt in and put on a belt and not have to worry about anything. So I was like belted everything, like, you know, like tuck in belt or whatever, skirt, belted skirt, pencil skirt. Like I was all like over that. But then I would go to work like that and he would be like, that's how you're going to work? Now, because the way I was built, like, you know, I was like, what do you mean? He was like, you about to wear that to work? Now, mind you, it's like deep summer. Okay. It's probably like 95 degrees outside. So I have on like this like tank shirt, which was work appropriate. So sleeveless top with a pencil skirt that came like a little below my knee.
Okay.
But if it's a pencil skirt, like you still, like you can't hide yourself or whatever, right? So he was like, you gonna wear a sweater or something? I was like, it's 95 degrees outside. I was like, I'm gonna bring a sweater because I'm sure it's gonna be freezing in the office, but I'm not wearing a sweater outside. And then here come the comments after that. It was like, I'm gonna say B, not the word.
Yeah, because we don't want to be censored.
It's like bees think they can lose weight and wear whatever the F they want. So then it started turning into that, like the insecure side of him.
Yeah.
Like you don't understand. Like I know what these guys see. I'm like, meanwhile, I wish that I came downstairs and he was like, dang, look at my wife. Like, but that's not the reaction that I got. That was what I got. And I was like, wow, okay. Went about my business, went to work. And then it was
did it make you change the way that you dress? Like,
no.
Okay. So you continued, but he didn't like that.
It didn't matter what I wore at that point. Like, unless there was a sweater or something covering
everything
up.
Okay. And that caused just conflict throughout the marriage. So what ended up happening where you came from going through all of this to where you are today as this like successful single entrepreneur, corporate leader? Like, how did that all switch for you?
So that was part of it, like that point, because when I started taking care of myself, that's when it felt like his insecurity and all that stuff started to increase. Because it was like I'm trying to take my power back and come back into myself, and it's like, well, I don't like that.
Right.
Because before it used to be comments like, I would still love you even if you were 400 pounds. And I used to be like, why would somebody say something like that? You want me to be, you okay with me being 400 pounds? Like, no, like I already gained 100 since you met me. And you saying you'd be okay if I gained like 100 more? Like, that sounds crazy. And it felt like, that sounded like a trap.
Yeah.
And so from that point, when I was pouring more into myself and his insecurity started growing, it just got worse.
Okay.
And it was like he could see like
the shift.
And he used to be like, oh, you think your ish don't stink. And I'm like, but I don't even portray myself like that. Just because I care about myself and I exude some type of confidence and stuff now, that's what you think.
Yeah.
But I was trying to grow on this journey with you. Right? So, yes, girl, he wanted to keep me in bondage.
And then Patrice said that's the insecure narcissistic behavior.
Oh, yeah.
Showing.
Yep. Highly, highly, highly. And that came out in therapy as well. But I just kept moving forward from then, and it irked him more and more and more until one day, like something that happened with his car. So we were like sharing a car, and we luckily, because we worked different shifts, that worked out. So it was like when he got off at 7 a.m. and when he got home at 7 a.m., I was literally getting in the car right after him to go and leave to be at work by 8 a.m. And I was always the drop my son off in the morning, and then he used to pick him up after. So he was always the afternoon pickup. I was always the morning drop off. And because of that, I now have to do both, right? And, or if he needed a car for some reason that day, he would just drop me off.
Okay.
And then he would come and pick me back up.
Okay.
But then there would become times where he wasn't there when I got out. And I'm calling and calling. I had to have the neighbors go knock on the door one day to get him and all that stuff. But little things started to irritate him and make him angry.
Yeah.
So one day we were having a conversation, and he said something disrespectful to me, and I took my car keys. Like, you're not driving my car, right? And he came up, saw the spare key wasn't like with his stuff or whatever, and then we started getting into an argument. And then he like pushed me into the deck door. My glasses came off, whatever. He snatched the keys and left to go to work or whatever. And that was like the first incident.
Okay.
I had said something to one of my friends about it. And she was like, it was like her and her boyfriend. And they were like, document everything.
Okay.
So no matter how small you think it is,
document it.
Document it.
Good advice, guys. If you are in any of these types of relationships, or if you have any red flags like that, please document what's happening, just in case you need to leave.
Right. Because then they were also like, there could be patterns of other stuff, right? And it was like one day I had to come home and confront him, and I had my phone on record in my pocket.
Okay.
Just in case. But it was like another day. He like mushed me in the side of my head. I didn't say much, but between that and him having conversations with other women, that I ended up talking to one of them at one point and came home and had a whole confrontation about it and told him to get out.
Okay.
He left, but then one day I was coming home from work. It's like intuition is crazy. One day I was coming home from work after I had told him to get out. I was coming home from work and I don't know why. God, I know why. But I was pulling into my driveway and I was coming home from work, and because of the season, it's dark already. Okay. And there's no porch light on because I haven't been home. And something in me said that when I came into the driveway, I was like moving my car around like this, almost like using my headlights like a flashlight.
Okay.
Because I felt like I was supposed to see something outside. And I didn't see nothing at first. And I pulled into the driveway and he was walking into the garage behind my car. And I tried to hit the garage door opener, but he was under it, so it wouldn't close. Mm-hmm. And I was like, my son was in the car, and I was like, if he see him, that's a wrap. And he walked past, and my son saw him. He was like, Daddy. And then he walked past my door, and he went straight to the garage door, and he was like, if you want me to leave, you're going to have to evict me.
And that's where...
And then I was like, I'm filing for divorce.
Okay. So we have about 4 minutes. And I want to just say thank you for sharing, because that is not an easy fit, But I also want to just ask you if you can, let's just let the people know, like, what has been the freeing moment for you? And how do you stay grounded now?
So I actually think after that was it, because I feel like what led to the divorce, like after that happened, I had called an attorney, but I hadn't filed yet.
Okay.
6 months had passed and she called me and was like, I didn't see any paperwork. Were you still filing? And I was like, I'm still thinking about it or whatever. And I was going in the dishwasher one day, and this, like, after I had filed, he was still in the house and he was trying to, I guess, be cordial at the time, but we got into an argument, and then he looked at me and he was like, you'll never be happy. He's like, you'll never be happy with me. You'll never be happy with yourself. You'll never be happy with anybody else. And I was very unbothered by his comment and kept doing what I was doing, and he ain't like that. So when I came up from the dishwasher, I got hit in the face. And then I was like, nope. And I immediately called the police, and they came, and then like I didn't have to worry about him not being in the house anymore, because now there's a protective order and all that stuff, whatever. But I feel like that was probably one of the occasions where you're like, if you were supposed to leave a situation and you didn't leave, something gonna happen that make you leave. And I feel like that was it for me. And that like freed me from that whole situation, because it was like, at first, yes, it was hard, but was I kind of doing some of this stuff by myself already?
Yeah.
Yes. So now, do I not have the stress? Yes. Am I now running around though, trying to figure out what I'm going to do with my child? But I figured it out. I had to get like 3 different babysitters to help take care of him at 3 different times in order for me to juggle still being able to still take care of my health, still go to work, still get him to all sports or whatever. But I did it. Yeah. And I just feel like as much as we think, oh, it's going to be so hard if I'm by myself, it was so much easier. And I felt like a lot of times when it's like, oh, I'm not going to have enough to pay for this. Yeah. I felt like I actually was saving money. And God was like, you're out of the situation you weren't supposed to be in anymore. So now you have abundance.
We're going to end on that. Well, thank you so much, Kennisha. I really enjoyed you sharing with us. I hope that you guys enjoyed the conversation. If you have any quick questions, we are here to answer. Thank you all for chiming in the chat. It's not easy sharing your story, but I am so grateful that Kennisha was able to get through it. She is super brave. Yes, you are right, Patrice. She is super brave. And sometimes it's not easy, but it's so important that we have these conversations, because you never know what people are dealing with and how they overcame things, right? When people overcome obstacles that they thought they would never come from under, and then they tell someone, that is so encouraging to the next person. And so by God telling me to do this, I had no choice but to do this. And I can really relate to what Kennisha was saying about how when God tells you to do something, don't wait. You got to listen, because he God will start allowing things to just go chaotic for you. He'll protect you, but sometimes things don't even have to go that far if you just been obedient from the start.
Right.
And sometimes we can be so disobedient because we are so worried about the aftermath.
Or what's going to happen next, or what am I going to do next?
Right.
And I told somebody the other day, I was like, direction follows obedience.
Right. And that's another thing. We don't have to worry about where we're going as long as we're aligned with God. As long as we are aligned with God and we are obedient to God, we don't have to worry about what's going to open up for us. We just know that we following him. And to be honest, he is the lamp to our feet, to our path. We're always trying to be our own lamps. And more than likely, them lamps will break. And we're going to be blind anyway. So please take this story, take her last words, what she said about, it was an opportunity. She wouldn't have gotten hit, right? If she would have left when God told her to.
When I called the first time.
Because what ends up happening is that we think that we can handle it. But I'm so happy.
Fix it.
Or fix them, right? Sometimes we want to fix people. Sometimes we don't have to. And even in marriages now, I'm not saying for nobody to go get another divorce. That's not what I'm saying, because I love marriage. I think it's a beautiful thing. But what I'm saying is, even in marriage, sometimes we want to fix our spouses. We don't have the right. The only thing we can do is pray for them, pray for our unions, pray for each other separately, and just ask God to continue to watch over us, but not trying to fix anybody. Even in your partnerships, your intimate ships, we don't have to try to fix the other person. Just pray for them and pray for yourself. And then make sure that you're asking God if you're in the right path so you can be aligned with him, because God will show you or tell you if you are aligned or not. And he'll start moving stuff around. So again, thank you guys. Thank you, Sade. Yes, it was a beautiful conversation. You can, Kennisha's going to give y'all her socials, because, she's somebody that you do want to connect with when it comes to wellness. If you are a single mom, her podcast is super dope. I've been able to work with her multiple times. So you might want to just check her out. So, share your socials, please.
Sure. So the podcast is The Real Life of Transparent Motherhood. So on Instagram, it's at transparent_motherhood if you want to follow that. And again, it streams on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music. And it is not just solely about motherhood. It is named that way because I am a mother and I talk about stuff that goes on through motherhood. But it's relatable to pretty much anyone, especially if you're a parent. I have had men tell me that there's stuff on there that they can relate to. The coaching is at Phoenix Comp Coaching on Instagram. If you want to follow me on Facebook, I am just Kennisha Flewellen, my name, and you can find all the information about everything I'm doing. Then my next live show will be March 25th downtown Hartford at the Russell.
Come. They're always dope. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining in tonight. It was an amazing opportunity to sit and chat with Kennisha Flewellen. Please hit her up if you want to just talk with her more. If you have anyone who's been through any of this or it might seem familiar, please share. All right. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Remember, or evening, remember, it's your girl, Dr. Tasha Rose, your transparent sister in women's healing. And I want you to know that I love you and God loves you too. Peace.